everybody doing today? It's day 3 of the 15th annual Chiefs of Ontario Health Forum. My name is still Stan Wesley. It's me, Baby Groot, and Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda here in the office / bedroom. Bed's just over there. Kind of looks like an office here, right? I can use the basement, but it's unfinished. So, it's here in the corner, and that's all right. So we have a few announcements before we get going today, and we're going to let you go very, very shortly for your workshops. But before we do that, Alice, if you're online, if you can send me a message about our kickoff, that would be wonderful. The wonderful, wonderful knowledge keeper, otherwise known as the amazing Ed Sackney. He's been having hard times getting online. Oh my goodness, I feel so terrible for him because I know Ed, he's so wonderful and so heartfelt. And I know he's probably feeling bad and guilty, although it's not his fault that he can't make it. So if you're in Albany, Pita Bec Nation, or you have Ed on your Facebook, if he's on Facebook and you're friends with him, please tell him that we love him and we understand. And but we do miss him. Please tell him that we do miss him. Donna DeBossigi stepping up again, 3rd day in a row. Donna is with us. She is right here. Donna, yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Stan.
How's the weather today over there?
Oh, it's beautiful here. It's a little bit cool, but it's beautiful. Beautiful day.
Oh, you know what? Spring is on its way, Donna. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
With a change of season, I'm hoping that things get better, so you're able to visit, right, and go on picnics and barbecues and
exactly. Oh,
I'm so hopeful. But in the meantime, Donna, I will turn it over to you to say our prayer. So, Donna, thank you.
Pusho. Evdi kweding di go nishna be kwenda gi gondo demawe. Shindagini nizam nising bin chabawi kam kung bin jaji. Kabuni ginishin kade yam jikobni go. Mi question de kit nan bagi ishkak give nadu gosting mi nokina chibi bashmata ding jiben bochi ding mi non nai chip chikno ma going sa income go kinong go chanai patang nai manda Indigenous wellness but the what up to go nai give mentana chinago Indigenous wellness kid what. So I just want to welcome everyone back for today's session. I mentioned about how I was very encouraged to hear yesterday the reference to Indigenous wellness as opposed to Indigenous health. So I it has such a good message for our people. And so I welcome everyone back today and hope that our last day will be just as good as the rest that the past 2 days have been. Now, miigwech.
Oh, Donna, so wonderful. I'm looking forward to later on, Donna, because you're coming back to give your reflections, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be wonderful. And I just heard from Alice that Ed's trying to log back on, so we're hoping that he'll join us at 4:30. Let's see what happens. Fire up that generator! Somebody get a generator going for him over there. Okay, so everybody, I want you to look at your schedules. I got a few little changes. Okay, which always happens here. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna pick up mine. I am barefoot right now because after this, I'm going to change into some socks and we'll talk about that. Okay, so here we go. So Donna, chimigwech one more time for starting us off in a good way. It just feels right when we have an elder start us off, Joe chimigwech. Okay, so we have our workshops beginning in 7 minutes, so that's still on. If you're in workshop number 1, you are going to stay right here. You're not going anywhere. Everybody else, see you later. Not yet though. All right. So at 2:30 on your original agenda, we had Honorable Christy Elliott, Minister of Health and Deputy Premier of Ontario. She's not going to make it today. She's not able to join us. So at 2:30 to 3:15, we have Wickwem Kong's presentation. Okay, so their presentation is going to be Wickwem Kong's pandemic plan, best practices. So we're excited about that. All right. And as far as I'm concerned, we have so many incredible, amazing stories about our pandemic responses. This is just going to be one of them. I'm really fired up about that one. So that's between 2:30 and 3:15. All right. Okay. So that's a big change, right? But it's okay. It's okay. Let's see here. And at 3:30, once they're done, we'll do 15 minutes of games and stuff like that. Okay, we'll give away another prize. At 3:30, we will have the elders and youth reflections, and that's going to happen at till 4:15, and then we're going to wrap this baby up. So if you notice on the original agenda, it has us wrapping up at 4:30. We're going to wrap up a little bit early, just because people have flights to take, and they got to beat traffic. Want to let you go a little early. So that's what's going to be happening. So we're going to wrap it 4:15, in and around there. We got some closing comments, of course, and we got our elders. And then, of course, we have our traveling song. Okay, so the evaluation form is on the Whova app, and that's happening right now under additional resources. So go and find that survey and complete it, please. Once you completed that survey, send an email to, if somebody can put that in the chat, please, that'd be nice. healthforum@ku.org for your chance to win a $200 gift card. All right. So deadline to submit your name will be Monday at noon. That's Monday at noon. It's Thursday, so you got a few days to do that. You can even do that during break or once we're done for your chance to win. All right, you'll be notified by the wonderful Alice to get your contact details and to send you that gift card. Once again, if you're in workshop number 1, stay right here. The rest of you, we'll see you shortly. And really super quick here. Here we go. I'm just going to go back to my main screen. I showed you a bunch of socks. That's just only a fraction of the socks that I have. Fraction of the socks that I have. After showing a few of I just went like this and pulled it out just like that game with the arm and just, that's what I did yesterday. I just happened to pull out some socks. The one that that received the most feedback yesterday by storm wasn't the skulls and the hearts. It wasn't the flowers. It wasn't the geese, which I'm a little offended, me being Cree. The most sacred animal that we have is a niskuk. And Star Wars got a few shout outs, but the one that got it was the llamas right over here. And the reason why I think the llamas got it, because we want less drama and ultimately more llama. And llamas come with no drama. So there we go. So you don't want to see my feet because it's winter and I got dry skin. My feet kind of look like Sasquatch feet. I am going to put on my socks right now. I need to moisturize. It feels rough. My socks are sticking to my dry feet. Ooh, okay. Lindsay, thank you so much. You can send me a private message. I will give you my mailing address and you can send me that cream. Okay. I need a foot care kit. I think I do need a foot care kit. All right. So all you have to do, and I'm going to put it right here in the chat, okay? Because I think it's really, really important. All of you wearing socks or mocks, right? Mocks as well. I want you to, I want you to hashtag a photo of your socks mocks on Facebook and Twitter, KU Health Forum 2021. Hopefully I spelled that right. KU Health Forum 2021. What I'm going to do is I'm going to collect all the names, and just do a draw, just a draw. And then the winner will receive, like I mentioned yesterday, will receive a Tabahan Tabahan. Tabahan is a very, very traditional Cree game going back to the beginning of time. And I'd like to think this is a game that our people brought to ceremony and cultural gatherings. And we played this game with your ancestors. It's a wonderful, wonderful game that brings people together. I'm really, really happy to share this with you. The winner will receive this game. Really simply how you play is you swing the game and you try and stack the bones on this. How, right there. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I make it look easy. It's not that easy, trust me. One more. Here we go. How. 2 more. Hold on. There we go. 10 points right there. Okay. 5 points in the hide. 25 points in a small little hole in there. And when you get to your box with your Tabahan, you'll have a little insert card that shows you how to play. And there's a really beautiful sticker in there. So that's from my family to your family. And I hope that this Tabahan, if you win, will bring you and your family closer together. Because at a time like this, we need to come together a little bit more. So there you go. Before I let you go, really, really quick again, don't forget to visit our exhibitors. Please check them out. Scroll through our sponsors as well, and give a shout out, please, on Facebook, on Twitter. Julie McKay says she posted her socks already. Julie actually won the Bannock Bowl that we had during Super Bowl. Let's see if she can get 2 Tabahans in the mail. Let's see what happens there. Post a picture of your socks and mocks. So that concludes our opening ceremony. If you're in workshop number 1, stay right here. If you're in the other workshop, Bannock Bowl champions, if you're in the other workshop, then what you can do is you're going to log off this and head back in, look for the next series of workshops, click. You either have a choice of either seeing it, watching it in Hoover or watching it in Zoom. It's your choice. You'll have a moderator and you will have, I believe, a door prize at the end of your workshop, and we'll see you back here in this space at 2:30. Okay, it's 1:16. We're 1 minute over. Oh my goodness. This workshop is beginning now. Okay, we'll see you later, everybody. Head out. 77 people online. Boop, boop, boop. Do your thing. Go. This workshop will be starting really, really soon. All right. Post your pictures of your socks and your mocks.
Which one? P3E 4C7? P3A? It should be in your signature, no?
Good afternoon, everyone. Just sending a quick note that this will be the forum for workshop number 1. So if you're registered for that specific workshop, you can stay right here. Okay, I just checked in with our presenters and it sounds like they're all good to go. So welcome everybody to workshop number 1. So this specific workshop, it focuses on the Native Wellness Assessment Tool created by the Thunderbird Partnership Foundation. So just a couple quick notes before we get started. So as Stan mentioned, we will be doing another door prize at the end. So please stay, and I believe you have to be present to also win the prize. So for questions and answers, we will be holding those at the end of the presentation. So there's a couple ways you can post your questions or comments. So you can either do that in the chat box here on the Zoom link, or you can do that using the Whova app. I'll just make sure those are monitored and we have those when the presentation is done. So I will read the comments and questions back to the presenters to be addressed at the end, and there is a possibility we could unmute some of those that maybe want to address the presenters themselves. I know we kind of did that in our workshop yesterday. So with that, I will introduce our presenter. Her name is Jennifer Rojas. She's a research and data specialist at Thunderbird Partnership Foundation. And she will be talking about the Native Wellness Assessment. So the Native Wellness Assessment measures the impact of culture on wellness using a strengths-based approach. It measures change in wellness for youth and adults who experience Indigenous culture as an intervention in alcohol and drug treatment. The assessment has also been used in educational institutions, community programs, and organizations. The Native Wellness Assessment measures wellness across the 4 areas of spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical well-being over time. So with that, I will welcome Jennifer and allow her to take the floor for her presentation.
Thank you, all of you. Thanks to the annual Chief of Ontario Health Forum to share this call with Thunderbird Partnership Foundation. This is our 3rd conference. We appreciate the participation during this time. My name is Jennifer Rojas. I am research specialized at Thunderbird Partnership Foundation. And during the following hour, I am going to share the Native Wellness Assessment as a measure tool and measuring the effect of culture on wellness during COVID-19. To make sure that we are all connected, I will off my cameras for the remind of the presentation, and also because we have a video to project in the middle of the presentation. Thank you. Okay, so before I start, let's find who we are. Thunderbird Partnership Foundation is a national organization to advocate and support First Nations people in addressing substance use issues among First Nations community, but also organization brings together addiction and mental health concept under the big approach of mental wellness. The organization supports and integrates a holistic approach to healing and wellness on First Nations people. Our vision, cultivating and empower relationships that connect First Nation to culture, strength, and identity with holistic and healthy communities. Our mission, Thunderbird Partnership Foundation, a division of the National Native Addiction Partnership Foundation, is leading culturally centered voice, advocating for collaboration, integrate, and holistic approach to healing and wellness. Finally, our mandate, Thunderbird Partnership Foundation, is a national voice advocating for First Nation culturally based addiction services in different levels of government through research, training and education, policy and partnership, and communication. Our work is mandated by 2 frameworks. I decided to frame and reflect those frameworks during this presentation because I will refer those frameworks across the different presentation of the data. The first framework, Honorarium or Restraint, HOS, a renewed framework to address substance use issues among First Nations people in Canada, describe a continuum of care. This framework intends to guide the design, coordination, and delivery of service that at all levels of the system. It also provides guidance on an approach to community development that prioritizes mental health and wellness and build on a strength of community and culture. The framework recognizes the strength system of care is a shared responsibility in different levels, as well as a wide range of care providers, including family and community members, community service provider, primary care, and other medical staff, and of research service provider. In the next circle, we have the First Nation Mental Wellness Continuum, the FNMWC. It's national framework that addresses mental wellness among First Nations in Canada. It identified ways to enhance service coordination among various systems and support culturally safe delivery of services. This framework includes elements that support the health system, which include governance, research, workforce development, change and risk management, self-determination, and performance measurement. Service integration among federal, provincial, and territorial programs is central to its success. Okay, so before I explain a little bit about the instrument, let's talk a little bit about culture and why is culture involved in this presentation. Why my culture to be important to Indigenous people? Culture is protective and healing for Indigenous people, working toward wellness is the foundation of the creation story. Culture is the purpose of life to all of us as human beings, and it's a knowledge that is not just relevant for First Nation Indigenous people. It's a meaningful for all of us because each one of us has a culture and expression of our culture. In one of our online tools, how we can see on the red chart, Culture for Life, which target youth to connect with their future. There is a kind of a concept that I like, I respect, and I would like to bring today. Each and every one of us is born with a spirit. One spirit decides to live life to the fullest. Culture is the facilitator of a spiritual expression. It is the foundation of a good life. As Indigenous people, we have a wealth of knowledge from which to draw to know how to live in balance, to care for ourselves and others. This knowledge remains with us, despite experience with colonization, residential school, and racism. There is no one culture in Canada because culture is defined by the land, language, and nation of the people. Indigenous traditions, ceremonies, and practices connect us to our culture. They help us create wellness in our life in balance the spirit, heart, mind, and body. We know that we know that when culture is expressed in our life, we experience higher levels of well-being. So, keeping in mind that concept, and also I brought a presentation, a short video from one of our Indigenous knowledge translator at Thunderbird, and she explained all this project of NWA in Calgary 2017. In this short video, she demonstrates the importance of culture in addiction treatment as a tool for improved wellness. I took a short section of the video that tried to explain the great perspective about culture. So let's go with the video. Okay, so it's like a we are hearing issues.
Hi, Jennifer. It's Matt. When you go to share your screen, one of the options you will get in sharing is you can share your computer audio as well. And so you'll want to share computer sound so that we can hear whatever is playing on the computer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No problem.
So we're so used to seeing everything from a
Right now, it's okay?
Now it's great.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
No problem.
deficit lens, the bad news story for First Nations people, which are part of our reality because of colonization and assimilation tactics and everything that has happened. But the other truth is, and what we also know, is that we have incredible strengths. We have an incredible lineage on Turtle Island, what we call our homeland here. And from that, we have our stories. We have our stories all the way back to creation time in all of our nations. And we have our strong values and we have our beautiful languages. We have incredibly strong families. And we have a connection with this land that nurtures us always. So we know all of our strengths. So we know that, we know the role that our strengths, our cultural strengths need to play in healing from problematic substance misuse, to addictions, to mental wellness issues, physical wellness issues, all of that.
Okay, so let's back to the presentation. Okay, so thinking the two concepts that we brought in this presentation, what does mean culture? So culture is everything, is relative, understanding, worldview, belief, balance, language, life, physical intuition, essential emotion, tradition, values, and more. So if we remind the concept of culture, and that was the concept that Chunderbeer put together on a table, so that this is the base of the NADA wellness assessment. Chunderbeer, together a wonderful group of people, want to show that culture is hidden. They want to be able to show as an evidence base that culture works for people who are dealing with substance use issues and mental health issues. The name of the project was CASI, Indigenous Culture as Intervention in Addiction Treatment Project, 3 years of project, with the initial writing in 2012. This project included a research team of about 40 people, made up of elders, treatment centers, researchers, service providers, and decision makers. What is so exciting is this is the first holistic wellness assessment instrument in the world, and it came from NADA and NYSAP treatment centers. The aim of the research project was to build a culturally specific evidence base for demonstrating the impact of indigenous culture in facilitating wellness. Indigenous knowledge was prioritized throughout the process and summarized the information shared by the treatment centers. They collect multiple worldviews in the research project, and this project adopts the 2I SIN approach. The indigenous knowledge was prioritized through the process, but with some tools of Western sciences and participation of academic national organizations. At the end, the project provides tools around culture, such as the native wellness assessment and the connection with culture. That is a guidebook that is recently at Chunderbeer. Okay, so eventually, and the base of the assessment that we are talking today, CASI project create the Indigenous Wellness Framework, which is the base also for the FNNWC. This framework starts with the question, what is a whole and healthy person? Okay, wellness from indigenous perspective is a whole and healthy person expressed through a sense of balance of body, mind, emotion, and spirit. There are no directions attached to the indigenous wellness framework. Also, the meaning can differ from one part to other the country. The four outcomes are the base in indicators, and there is a relationship among them. If we can see in the slide, there is a definition that provides a correlation between the 13 indicators with the four outcomes. Spiritual behaviors is expressed through belief, identity, and values. It manifests itself in hope. Emotional behavior is expressed through attitude, relationship, family, and community. It provides a sense of belonging. Mental behavior is expressed through intuition and understanding. It gives meaning to all things in life. Finally, physical behavior is expressed through wholeness, way of being, and way of doing. It's seen through purpose. The whole person in balance has to have component of the whole circle. Okay, so let's back to the presentation. Thank you. So thinking in that perspective and that we are a whole circle, that circle has components, and all those components define our wellness. So we can improve the wellness on people using culture as intervention, and this can be measured. So that is the native wellness assessment. It's an instrument developed by First Nation people using indigenous-based knowledge to measure the impact of culture on wellness over time. Can be used for youth and adult population. The native wellness assessment can be used in treatment centers, and right now we are using also in community programs that implement indigenous culture-based programs. Part of the objectives and can be used for set goal for treatment or plan of care. Monitor change over time. Establish target. Understand the relationship between change in wellness and cultural interventions. Program evaluation or program design. Also for cultural competency for staff. How the instrument work? Okay, there are two forms. The self form to be completed by the client. The intention is to obtain their thought, feeling, and perception relative with the statement, and that can contribute to the personalize the client profile on wellness based on their own experience. The second form, the observer form, to be completed by someone who is knowledgeable about a client treatment program, such as their counselor or an elder. There are 66 statements related with all those indicators and the cultural practices that support them. So there are a component of intervention. Ideally, the form should be completed 2 or 3 times. So at that case, you can see the difference that your program is making with your client. Okay, so the final slide to explain how the assessment works, the cultural practices. So this is the final section of the native wellness assessment. It ensures that the wellness outcome of hope, belonging, meaning, and purpose are tied to cultural practices interventions rather than other aspects of the programs. The native wellness assessment asks you to reflect your self connection to cultural practices through identifying a list of cultural practices and activities that might have been practiced as part of the intervention. There are 3 different categories with a total of 52 different cultural practices. Regular participation in cultural practices support the development of a strong connection at this, and this start the wellness. Okay, so this is the kind of graph that we are going to see. You can see in the report of the NADA Wellness Assessment that shows the client change over the time through the 4 outcomes and indicators. So we can see, like, for example, in this client, the assessment was provided 3 times, and the beginning of the program are the broad bars. These graphs are similar for individual and aggregate report. The difference with the aggregate report, instead of reviewing the result with your client, you will review the result with your staff. Perhaps you could use this data to support your evidence for meeting accreditation standards, and you can use this information in your annual report or your program website. Nowadays, Chunderby has translated this bar chart in a new circle diagram in the report. Why? The circle is the most expressive of indigenous view. The circle is an expression of the life process. It sees the process in a circular way and imagine the connection and interdependency within the life. All the data is translated into the 4 quadrants. Okay, so this assessment was validated for different academic bodies. So they were responsible for the validation of the scale. The treatment center and community will enter a data sharing agreement with Chunderby Partnership Foundation. So the data sharing agreement outlines how the information will be collected, analyzed, and used. OCAP principles are followed. So this is to ensure the indigenous people benefit from all stages of the research are included. Now that we have and we understand a little bit of the background of why we create the NADA Wellness Assessment and its intent use, let's take a look of a practical use and his wonderful findings. Okay, so the data presented is from the Addiction Management Information System, Amidst, database that is used to support case management for National NADA Alcohol and Drug Abuse Program, NADA, and the National Youth Solvent Abuse Program, NYSP, treatment centers across Canada. The data was filtered to have a snapshot of how cultural intervention used by treatment centers through outpatient virtual sections and outreach virtual treatment services impact wellness over time during COVID-19. The data was filtered from March 2020 to January 2021. Okay. During the COVID-19 restriction, people who use substance report a loss of support from treatment, range of service, increase in isolation, fear, and many other symptoms that impact the mental health and their decision around substance use. Also, some data show trend of significant substance use during this time. For this situation, we are using the Drug Use Screening Inventory Revised, UCR, as a screening and assessment tool that quantifies substance use and mental health. We filtered the data in one of the dominant substance use, and we measure the severity. A comparison of substance use prior to COVID-19 and the current period has been evaluated. Pre-COVID-19, from April 2019 to February 2020, that is the blue bar. So we can see the behavior of the substance. If we compare with during the COVID-19, March 2020 to January 2021, that is represented by orange bar. We know the data during COVID-19 has a small sample size, and likely an underestimation of substance use, especially since higher frequency of use report for more substance. So we look at quarter than 20 times per month, indicator more harmful use during COVID-19. Clarify this point, there is a higher prevalence of use of stimulants, caffeine, sedative, hallucinants, and other substances. This is one of the situations that First Nations community face. But COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in significant innovation at First Nation treatment centers. Treatment centers were among those shut down for safety reasons across the country when the pandemic was declared in March. The restriction made treatment centers move quickly to a virtual and land-based approach. And that is the kind of funding that we want to highlight today. Okay, so this is one of those programs, NADA Wellness Assessment, measuring the impact of the wellness through the outpatient virtual support. These services include virtual treatment provided on non-residential basis, usually in a regular scheduled section, could be 1 or 2 hours per week, sharing circle host through Zoom. Also, treatment team include cultural knowledge people, social workers, elder and traditional healer. The service blends therapeutic group with cultural programming. From March 2020 to January 2021, client wellness increased from 8 to 10% due to the cultural intervention used during outpatient virtual services at NADA and NYSAP treatment centers across Canada. Okay. The other intervention that was measured by NADA Wellness Assessment is the outreach virtual treatment services. Virtual treatment services include anyone who participates in the following virtual services through the different treatment centers across Canada. Could be cultural intervention, individual counseling, substance life skill education, group counseling, emergency crisis services, prevention webinar, harm reduction, opioid agonist treatment. The intervention is through live stream, use Facebook or others, instant messages, test support, audio, video platform using Google Classroom, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. From March 2020 to January 2021, clients' wellness increased from 9% to 12% due to cultural intervention using outreach virtual treatment services at different treatment centers across Canada. As a conclusion for this data, many treatments say their virtual programming has been so successful. They plan to continue support treatment, different treatment, pre-treatment, aftercare, and outreach using this way. In pro of that, Chundarby had developed tools to support treatments, center, and community during COVID-19. These are some examples that we have been developing during this time. Also, you can find more elements in our website.
So some recommendations, while maintaining connection, the use of technology along the healing journey. As crisis can cause a sudden closure of treatment centers and have struggles with the healing journey of clients, treatment centers may make use of web-based methods to continue support. However, this requires clients and staff to have access to internet and or computers or devices to access these online services. Some recommendations are highlighted on the slide in front of you. Efforts should be made to provide internet connectivity to all staff. First Nations people under treatment should be able to access the internet and have device that they can use to receive web-based support. Make Wi-Fi available in parking lots of treatment centers, schools, community centers, or libraries for clients to use when needed. In case treatment centers remain open during a crisis, but do not permit visitors, online methods like FaceTime or Zoom can be used to keep individuals connected to their loved ones. If using a cell phone, make sure caller ID is removed to hide personal numbers to the privacy of the assessments. A VPN and strong antivirus software should be installed on all staff's computers working out of the office to protect confidentiality of clients and lowering the risk of sensitive data being used by third parties. Webinars are a popular source of information, and treatment centers should be involved in program delivery, finding speakers and selecting topics.
Okay, so we have another example using the NADA wellness assessment to identify land-based evidence to support wellness. Some treatment centers have used land-based programs during the COVID-19 situation. So First Nations people recognize the power on healing of the land, and it is a gift from the Creator. So First Nations community know that the land-based practices enhance the quality of life by providing a connection to the land and diverse cultural teaching. The data present is not completely related with the COVID-19 time, but the tool is there. So the data that we are presenting right now is from the Addiction Management Information System Amidst database, and the data was filtered by March 2017 to March 2020 to provide a snapshot of land-based intervention and cultural practices used by treatment centers to support the evidence of the land-based teaching. Select statement and cultural practices relate to the land were used to support the evidence. So we can see in the diagram an increase from 5% to 70% in wellness over time during the land-based practices. How the NADA Wellness Assessment mentioned, Indigenous identity and relationship is defined by the land and the connection to the natural world. If we evaluate the same practices and filter use the youth treatment centers data to see if land-based practices improve in youth wellness, so the comparative graph shows an increase in the majority of the outcomes, demonstrating the role of culture and land-based practices play in restoring and maintaining wellness. Individuals who remain well connected to their community through group events and through connection to family and the land might be less likely to engage in risky substance use and therefore face fewer secondary risks. Chundarby Partnership Foundation has developed material to support youth during COVID-19. Also, has created a website where youth can find information, share thoughts, learn, and more. It's been evaluated to determine how effective its resources are in promoting life among First Nations youth and communities to understand how it can be improved in the future. So NADA Wellness Assessment, data use and storage. So treatment center and community organization and community program can now request access to use the NADA Wellness Assessment with their clients. It is need to organize and set up a data sharing agreement in terms to protect the community program and or treatment center data. So treatment center use the Amidst platform and community program is supported by our research team. So as a last comment, the NADA Wellness Assessment is available to support you in all those processes. The assessment is available in hard copy and online We can provide the link and the QR for those devices if you are fill up the assessment through your cell phone or tablet. Also, it's also an available tool in French and English. It's a free tool, and Thunderbird can provide support with different training and implementation. Also, you can visit one of our website to know more information about our resort for First Nations people. So right now, is any question that I can respond? Hello?
Hey, thank you, Jennifer. So I'm not seeing any questions right now in the Whova app. So if you have any at this time, you can post them there or in the chat link here on the side. Okay.
So before end the presentation, and let our participants to thinking about some questions. Let me mention that we invite you to visit Thunderbird Partnership Foundation virtual booth at this event. Just look for us under the exhibition tab. So we have a staff standing by on Zoom. Who are available to answer questions you might have about our work and our research.
Great. Thanks so much, Jennifer, for sharing your knowledge and information with us. And thank you to the participants for joining us today in this workshop. So at this time, I will invite Alice to share her screen. She will be doing the draw for the door prize. Okay, so we'll be using the random name wheel, and you must be.
I hope I have everyone's name on there. I'll go ahead and spin. Sharon M. Are you online? Sharon?
We don't see her. I don't believe she's online.
Okay, I'll spin again. Leanne Hudson.
I don't see her in the room either.
Okay. One more time. Larissa.
Yes, I do see her in the room.
Congratulations, Larissa.
Yes, and we will be in touch to make sure your prize gets to you.
Thank you.
Yes, so thanks, Alice, and thanks, everybody. So as Stan mentioned, we had a bit of a change in the agenda. So the Minister of Health, Christine Elliott, will no longer be joining us, but we will be continuing with our agenda in this room at 2:30 with a presentation from Wikwamacong on their pandemic response. So we have a bit of a break now until we reconvene.
At 2:30? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, is it 2:30, Alice? Maybe if you can confirm.
Yeah, 2:30. The workshop 3 was to go to 2:15.
Great. So we'll see everyone back at 2:30. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's 2:15. Cree Standard Time. Cree Standard Time being on time every time. How's everybody doing out there? It's the 15th, everybody. People look good. People are happy. I'm seeing some really good chatter happening. I'm keeping busy here, putting together some tabahons, getting ready. Idle hands, let me tell you, as they say, idle stands, so dangerous. Idle stands are dangerous. I think this will probably be edited out of the final program. We are getting there. It's 2:50. Next workshop with Wim Kong with Hallie. She's going to be presenting in 15 minutes. And I was asked to do something to keep you occupied for a few minutes. So what we're going to do in just a moment is I want everybody to grab your second device. So do that now, please. And we're going to go back on. We'll do a little bit of fun trivia, just something really fun. You know, whatever. This doesn't really relate to the program, but it's fun. So if it's fun, then it relates. Because we tell the world that we're fun-loving people. So let's have some fun. I want to give a shout out to some people that have been rocking the mocks and rocking the socks. Here we go. Cheryl. Good job, Cheryl. Nice socks. I like those paw prints. Let's see here. Who else do we have? And then there's me, of course. Priscilla's tweeting, which is wonderful. And then on the old Facebook machine, we have a few people. I'm getting a lot of likes from my socks. It says it's sock day. It says less drama, more llama. Let's be llamas, stand tall and just be adorable. Just stand there and go all day. Gotta love that. On Facebook, I want to give some shout outs to a Julie McKay and her hamburger socks. Julie. And that's it. What the? Okay, that's all right. So we got 26 people online. I want to give a shout out to my main man behind the scenes, Matt LaRue. Matt, thank you for the work that you're doing for us. We appreciate everything. You're making me sound good and look good. That's all I wanted. Just make me sound cool and make me look at least 44. Oh, there we go. Okay. Julie, how's the weather up in Timmins?
It's good, Stan. It was minus 19 this morning, which is chilly compared to the +2 and +1 you've been experiencing. So I'm welcoming the early spring.
Wonderful. I wonder if did the res dog see his or her shadow this year? That's what I want to know. I don't even know. So if the groundhog sees their shadow, it's going to be an early spring or a late spring. I always get that one mixed up. See the shadow? Early or
It'll
late?
be late because they're scared and they go back in their hole.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So kind of like me in the morning after I emerge, I look in the mirror and go, ah! Go run away. Okay. Want to give a shout out to my dear friend Julie. She is the winner of this year's Bannock Bowl, and we play once a generation. So, you know, so she's the generational winner of the Bannock Bowl. Congratulations, Julie. I still got to send you your tab on. How is this one here, Julie? The golden moose hide with the white bones. Is that good? You want that one? Perfect. So you're going to get that one.
That's going to be fun.
Okay, great. Miigwech, Julie. Okay, so it's 2:19, everybody. Let's get rolling. The other workshops, they're probably still rolling. So let's do something fun for a few minutes, shall we? We're just kind of like, you know, just flying a little bit here. I need to share my screen. Matt is on it. Good job, Matt. Okay, as you see by my Facebook, I am constantly monitoring the hashtags. So I want everybody to go back on your devices. I want you to go back on the menti.com, and I want you to click on 5136904 to enter in the Mentimeter. And then once you're in, you're going to see the logo, and then you're going to see a heart. I want you to start pressing your hearts. So do that now, please. Press those hearts. I'm playing too. I love this program. I searched high and low for a program earlier on. My beautiful wife, Mandy, is the SAO at Six Nations for 6 months. And then she came home, I think it was sometime in April, and she says, "So what are you gonna be doing for work?" Because I was just taking care of the kids. And oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Searched around, found this, and it's been a wonderful relationship that I've been having with my clients through interactive activities like this. It's been great. People seem to really enjoy it. Okay, so press those hearts, everybody. Press those hearts. I guess we're just, this is not mandatory, but let's just play a little bit for 9 minutes, and then we'll have Hallie present her best practices, okay? So let's do that. So let's just have some fun. If you're just joining us, follow the prompts on the top of the screen and let's roll. Okay, everybody, let's do this. Might have asked this earlier, yesterday or the day before, but what's your favorite traditional food? Come on. For all you Mushkego, Sagabon, you take a goose, you pluck it, take the wings off, hang it upside down right by an open fire. You just turn it, and it just goodness. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Indian tacos, boo, 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 big time. When the first newcomers came to this world, they looked at our feast and they said, "What are those?" And somebody says, "Those are Indian tacos." I'm like, perfect, right on. So they're very, 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 very traditional. Pickerel and spuds. Love it. Okay, let's keep going. What's your favorite fast food? Look on the list. Holy, that was fast. Is it for you? Is it not for you? And that's okay if it isn't. But if it is, you might be your indulgence. It's okay. Everything in moderation, right? Okay. Oh. I pressed the wrong one. Okay, that's me there. Popped up the 6. That's me. Pizza. I make my own burgers. We moved out of Toronto. We have a beautiful property out here outside of Six Nations. It's rural. And we were planning on having standy stock last year. Last summer, standy stock for like 3-4 days of like just visiting and hanging out. We're hopeful this year, standy stock. It's been rough. This has been challenging. It's been a struggle for everybody. But what's your go-to self-care activity that kind of puts you back into balance? So what do you do to kind of balance back out? I love that. Well done, right there. If you're not sure about self-care, if you're not sure about balance, there it is right there. Right there. Beautiful. Look at that. Snowshoeing. I keep reminding myself I was gifted these snowshoes one time, and they haven't met snow yet, and I have to honor the one who made those snowshoes. I got to get out there in the snow while we have some. I got to honor the spirit of those snowshoes. Beautiful. Okay, good job. Community slang now. So this is big time. Every community has a different type of slang. What's your community slang? Oh man, I love that. Zamguna. I don't know how you say that. If you're on Zoom, can you unmute and then say Zam, that Zam one? If you're on Zoom, if you're on the Woofa app, you can't, but if you're on Zoom, I'd love to hear it.
Zam ka na.
How do you say it? Like what context?
What do you mean? What's the context? Like
Like
Zam
how do you use it? Like after somebody does something, or what does it mean?
silly.
Okay,
Somebody
all
does
right.
something silly, or you like it's just uncalled for.
I love it. Our communities are so awesome in that regard. We all have our own slang. Okay. Let's play. Let's play. We got just an easy 9 questions. Here we go. So enter in. Winner just gets a shout out. That's all. Winner just gets a shout out. Enter in. If you enter in your real name, that's great, just so we know who you are. If you want to go by an alias, that's okay too. We got 4 minutes. We'll get through this, I promise. Six Nations has 2 Tim Hortons on reserve. Holy ever deadly. So let's do a Tim Hortons trivia. But let's do this one first. So where am I from? If you answer in really fast, you get lots of points. Okay. You're going to see a bar going like this on your device. Where am I from? Boom, right there. Awesome. 3 of you now know I'm from Moose Factory. Let's take a look at leaderboard really fast. So all of you answered right. Just backstage Matt, I like that one, answered a little, like a tiny bit faster. So let's get rolling. We're going to go right through to the end. Here we go. Question number 2. We got 4 minutes. Backstage Matt. What is the most popular fast food in Canada? I mentioned the Tim Hortons, right? So you already know the answer. Really fast. Let's go. As I eat some beans. Bada beans. Oh, man. Somebody's saying pizza. Okay, 8 of you didn't believe me, but it's Tim Hortons. We're blown past commercial breaks. Let's do this. Question 3. So who was Tim Hortons before he invented Tim Hortons Donuts? What was he? Curling star, a human resources manager, a hockey star, or a movie star?
Hockey.
Hey, come on. Play on the app. Okay. 22 of you right there. One of you thought he was a curling star. That's adorable. All right, question 4. What team did Tim Horton play for? Maple Leafs, Rangers, Penguins, or Sabres? Sabres. Is it Sabres or Sabres? I think it's Sabres, right? Sabres. He played for all 4. You got traded, right? All right, let's get down. Let's get busy here. What kind of donut is this? Honey cruller, old-fashioned glazed, or sour cream glazed? That's Baby Yoda's favorite donut, by the way. Holy, people are taking their time answering. Sour cream glaze, right there, beautiful. 10 of you are going to be Googling that, and that's okay, feel free. A few questions to go. What is a double-double in reference to? Donuts, coffee, are needing to go to the bathroom. I need to go have a double-double. All right, see you later. Here's the hall pass. I wish that would trend, man. I tell you, I just really want that to trend. Coffee, of course, coffee, of course. 3 questions to go. And we Kong's in a house. What is the most popular donut in Canada? This is the one I got from Tim Hortons. So is it apple fritter, Boston cream, old-fashioned plain, or honey cruller?
Old-fashioned plain.
You think old-fashioned plain, huh? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, spread right across the board is Boston cream. Well done. Apple fritter is the most popular donut in Ontario. Old fashioned plain is the least popular in the world. I'm just kidding. It's not. It's actually pretty good. I love that laugh. Keep laughing, girl. What is the most ordered coffee? Okay, so what would people take in their coffee? Is it black?
Double.
Is it one sugar, one cream? Double, double? We know what you think. Or a triple, triple? Holy. A triple, triple is like 9
Holy.
tablespoons of sugar, eh? Oh, I had a friend of mine who calls like 4 sugar and 4 cream, a 4x4. Oh yeah, you sound cool. Last question, here it is. Final question, what is your preferred item? There's no wrong answers. Answer as fast as you can.
Timbit.
Gilabima. Oh, they were slow. So Timbits, eh? 4 of you Timbits. Old-fashioned plain, it's definitely the most popular here. Wonderful stuff. Let's see who wins just for funsies now. Just for funsies. Backstage Matt was in the lead earlier. Backstage Matt, it's going to be close. Amanda did amazing that round. Boom, Amanda takes it with 8,253 points. Congratulations, Amanda. I am so proud. May this be the biggest victory of your life. Let's hope it isn't. But if it is, this is a big day. Congratulations, Amanda. Fantastic. Amanda, if you're online, if you can say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, congratulations, Amanda. Where are you from, Amanda?
Red Rock First Nation, but I'm currently in Binjitawabig in Anishinaabe as the community health nurse.
Beautiful. Way to go. They're lucky to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in and congratulations again. All right. Okay. So let's get back to it, shall we? All right. It's 2:32. We're going to get rolling here. As I mentioned earlier on today, the Honorable Christy Elliott, Minister of Health and Deputy Premier of Ontario, is a no-go today, and that's okay. We got our people to fill the space, and to me, that is absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Dorothy, for that. We have from McWemcong, we have Holly Petawanakwat. She is a CHN. Holly, are you there?
I am.
Super pumped. We are pumped that you're here talking about how amazing WebCong is.
Thank you. I don't have your energy, sorry.
Nobody does, and that's okay.
Alrighty. So
Turning it over to you, Holly.
How much time do I have?
You have 45 minutes, I believe, Holly.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll begin, I guess, just by introducing myself a little bit. I've been a nurse for 15 years, mostly working here in Wikwemekong as a community health nurse. I also have some experience working in long-term care, home and community care, and nursing home. So again, most of that work is here in my community of Wikwemekong. Sorry, my camera keeps falling on me. And so I just started working as the community health nurse manager here at our health center a month ago today. So new position, although I've been a nurse for a while here for about 15 years. So I hope that you can see my screen. Is my screen up there? Sorry.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So again, a presentation from our Wikwemekong Health Center. Again, prepared just for today for this table here, this group here. Thank you for the invitation. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the land that we're all currently joining from, and to acknowledge that I am presenting from Wikwemekong City Territory on Manitoulin Island. I have no actual or potential conflict of interest in relation to this presentation. So today I prepared a presentation to speak to you about lessons learned over the past year, COVID-19, and specifically about our community monitoring system. So our team started thinking about the process before the first presumptive case of coronavirus last year, January 25th. That's when I started this year. So before the first case was identified last year, our team here was already considering, based on hearing how things were evolving and progressing from China across the world, about how do we begin to prepare and protect our community, our staff, and our people. So staff in the home and community care program began brainstorming ways to reduce the spread of 19 in the workplace and the community. Our home care program consists of our admin staff, home visiting nurses, PSWs. We also have a McCook, and McCook offers community supports. So we started thinking about how do we ensure health and safety of our employees, also for the community, looking at PPE requirements and how do we monitor trends, knowing that we need to be aware of certain signs and symptoms. And of course, we knew back then that things were changing so quickly. Every day was something new. So, and we want to just make sure that we're able to stay on top of things and then, just be prepared. And as we know, guidelines were not developed by the provincial or federal government at that time. So instead of waiting for those guidelines to be downloaded to us, we took the initiative to actually, this is what we're going to do, and work together as far as brainstorming that process and how could that look here. So brainstorming, so we started looking at trends and seeing what was happening around the world. We had some staff who were researching current information and sharing their research findings with us. We were building upon our past personal and work experiences, because we have nursing staff here who have a combined experience of over 200 years of experience in nursing. So we built on that experience and looking at assets beyond the job description to see what people were brought to the table other than their roles and responsibilities for their actual job. And then capacity building within other departments in the health center here in Wikwemikong to see where we could get help and what other departments could offer. Also, Wikwemikong Health Center band managers and staff that contributed to all the brainstorming and the planning processes that we started at the home care program. And then we began reaching out to community partners. We were already involved in some external tables as far as Mantoon Island was concerned, and then also internal tables as far as talking with chief and council in emergency control group, for example. So from that brainstorming, it was it kind of decided that we need to be able to monitor what's happening in our own community, because at the time we were seeing all these influenza-like illness symptoms, and how do we differentiate between those two, and to use a public health term, surveillance, which we don't normally associate with home care, because I have a background of being a CHN, so part of that terminology I brought to the table and saying, well, we need to figure out a way to survey what's going on and monitoring our people to begin to keep track and look for clusters as far as looking for those influenza-like illnesses, and then thinking also from pulling from other experiences and working in nursing home, for example, or working in a hospital. Staff started sharing ideas about line listing as far as infection control and how that looks in those facilities, and can we adapt and incorporate those kinds of tools for our community. And so then we ended up saying yes, we can. And how would that look like as far as monitoring staff, and then monitoring community. And we were thinking about these things before guidelines came out from the province or from the federal government. So very quickly started doing staff monitoring right away to make sure that we're monitoring our own staff as far as any fever, cough, trouble breathing, screening staff at all of our departments in the health center, and sharing those screening forms with other band operations as well. And then looking at ways to assist our most vulnerable. We have, as part of working on different tables, we had already had identified food hamper lists, from previous years, people who might need assistance from OW, people that we identify as high-risk clients in the home care program. So as a community, we came together to identify those most vulnerable people in our community and created a list of who those people are. And then looking at creating algorithms about symptomology as far as, okay, how do we monitor, how do we assist these band members, and then looking at, for me, creating algorithms as far as screening people through and assisting our community health nurses in a decision-making process as far as do we isolate or not? Where would they go? Do they need to see a doctor or not? So helping them with those algorithms, and then also testing or not. And at the beginning of this whole pandemic, it became kind of clear that if our community members were going to our local hospital, we wouldn't necessarily know that they were being tested, and how would we know those results? That became the question. So as far as creating those algorithms, we're able to start that early on, for our nurses to be able to become familiar with that process, and to take on that kind of responsibility to make sure that we're able to follow through with our community members when they went off to a hospital for testing, for example. Figure out a way to make sure we capture those results as well, so that we're prepared in the event that there's a positive case. Then also looking at procedures as far as adding to pandemic plan or our emergency plan. So looking at procedures for nurses to do that screening and to do the staff monitoring in the line listing and those things, and expectations, developing scripts for callers, because we reached out to other band departments to assist with us with a community-wide monitoring system, where we would be calling people who were identified on our list, as I previously mentioned, calling them every day to say, screen them. And that was how we were going to monitor our community, was by calling people and screening them and screening every single person in their household. And that was a monumental task as far as getting it done, but it was something that we knew had to be done. So then we made it happen. So as far as making it happen, buy-in and recruitment, our health director was very active and proactive in this first steps in having the management of our health center involved, also pulling in the emergency control group, chief and council of the entire Wikwemkoong territory staff and community. So very vocal in that our health director was involved in all aspects of that. And also she did a lot of public service announcements as well to, to generate buy-in and to have people participate in the monitoring system. So of course we know that things were adjusting, things are evolving very quickly. So adjusting to change as we all had to, I think it was in the beginning, things were changing by the hour, it seemed pretty much. And so basically in-person visits stopped. We were all working from home and the onset of virtual care. And then one of the struggles we found here was accessing laptops and office setup for our staff. So making sure that people had access to internet and access to a charting system. So we had to make sure everyone had a VPN so they're able to communicate and chart as far as nursing went anyways. So as far as being able to continue to provide care and programming, our director of operations was supportive in that those who can work from home do, but at the same time, we need to try to maintain providing those programming, whether it's virtual, making sure that if we do have anything in person that we are adhering to the guidelines as per public health and Indigenous Services Canada guidelines as far as physical distancing, masking, hand hygiene, things like that. So looking at them, making telephone calls, wellness checks, again, the staff screening and sharing that process with other departments, and also you're getting assistance from external parties to share what they've been working on. And our surveillance continued as well, and it grew and changed and developed into something that I'll speak to later in the slides. We also began to consider if those people who are in isolation, if they have any sign and symptom, we had asked them to go isolate, and to a nurse would call them to monitor them as far as if they were symptomatic, and for the duration of 10 to 14 days, whichever one was the one that deemed appropriate at the time. So then we began to think about, well, those people in isolation, we need to get them food. So, and then working with our Ontario Works program, head of food security there was our Ontario Works administrator. So she and her team had quickly, made a food security team where our community members were offered meat packages, dry good packages on a weekly basis and a rotating basis. I think about 400 homes. People could ask for assistance with that. And then in the beginning, as we all know, there was a shortage in cleaning supplies. So that was one thing that we had a thought of stocking up on as far as supplies, making sure that we're able to, if people are isolating and there's lack of PPE and lack of cleaning supplies, that we could prepare those kits for people as well. And those two systems are still in place today, helping people with food and with isolation kits. And then also in home care and with community health nursing, as far as providing clients with tools to self-monitor, we were offering and providing thermometers and blood pressure cuffs so that people could do their own blood pressures, and then a nurse could follow up and, you know, ask about their blood pressures that day. And most of our people who are living with diabetes have their own glucose monitors. So following up with those people as well. Have you checked your glucose today and things like that? So that's something that we try to provide as well. So as far as calling our community members, we were looking at the high risk list. So we identified, I believe, about maybe 400 people on that list. And then we divided it up. We recruited other departments and the regulated healthcare workers in those departments to assist with this, as far as making sure confidentiality and privacy is concerned, to, you know, to recruit those workers who are regulated by a college. So we asked those people to come and help. So we ended up dividing up the list of 400 people among all these different volunteer workers who were working from home, given like about 20 people to call, or 20 households to call a day to do check-in, see how they're doing, screen, see if they need anything. And then if they needed something, then they would be referred to either food security, to a nurse for isolation kit, or to whichever program that they needed assistance with. And as part of that also, we created an alert system and a pretty detailed Excel sheet that would alert us if there was a yes to any of the symptom, or in that it would generate notification, and then the staff who was calling would then submit that worksheet to the community health nurse to identify that there was somebody symptomatic in the community, so the nurse could follow up with them and do their assessment. So that the community monitoring system, it evolved into an alert system for management and staff as well as community members. So as far as looking at staff monitoring, we also applied that screening to staff as far as alert system for any symptom for staff, so that they would notify their manager, even if it was a runny nose, so any symptom, so that staff or management could also inform the community health nurse. We created a dedicated email for COVID, for forms and for any concerns from the community, a dedicated phone for the community health nurse to follow up for COVID day. And we also developed an after hours call and offered weekend coverage. So people could be, if they needed after hour contact or weekend contact, they could call our COVID-19 phone, a dedicated phone to that for follow-up. So the staff monitoring system, right now, Kong has a community-wide staff monitoring system, wherein, again, like I mentioned before, the staff monitor themselves, any symptom, screen themselves, temperature checks in the morning, submit those forms to our managers on a bi-weekly basis. But if there is any symptom, you submit it to your manager right away. And also, as far as alerting our nursing staff, the form would also go to the COVID email for a nurse to follow up. And we've had this in place, I think, for I think we started doing this, I'd say about 8 months ago or so. Even the pandemic's been going on for a year. We started this, pretty early on as far as staff monitoring system. We know now the province is doing that just in recent weeks. So this form of our staff monitoring system is has helped us in containment. Kong has had 3 positive cases since last year. One was in our nursing home. We have a nursing home here on in the community. It's a 60-bed nursing home, and they had a false positive case last year. And then we had one here in December, and then one here recently in just a few weeks ago, which is since resolved. So, however, going back to the staff monitoring system that we have in place, that was in both of the instances where we had cases here, that system helped us, it alerted us because staff notified their manager and our system worked. We were able to identify and contain any spread of the COVID-19 virus in our community by having a system in place. We were able to have a head start on case and contact management because staff notified their manager notified the COVID-19 phone or nurse, and right away followed up with the case as far as isolation and starting on that case and contact management. And then following up with Indigenous Services Canada's documentation and reporting, informing management, the Health Services Director and our Chief. I have a pump going on in the background. Hopefully it shouldn't last too long. So then due to our previous buy-in, we were able to mobilize very quickly. Our team pulled together. I wasn't involved with the first case, but from what I understand is that the case was made known, and then it might have been on a Saturday. The case was made known to us, and then our team was able to mobilize that day, that night. And then we have a Blue Med tent here in Kong, where we can offer COVID-19 testing to symptomatic and asymptomatic people. So we were able to move very quickly to pull in our team and offer testing to community members right away through our Blue Med tent. So when we think about that monitoring system that we have in place, it actually it worked in December, and then a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago now, again it worked. And for when I think about that, it's the honor system about telling the truth to your manager about having any symptom, and the fact that we're able to work with staff, have that buy-in, and to be able to have our system actually work and contain the spread of COVID-19 in the community. So it still is a work in progress, of course, especially now with the COVID-19 variants of concern. as we learn more about these variants of concern, changing guidelines, and the way that we communicate with our membership, maintenance of processes. You know, a lot of people are having COVID-19 fatigue and are getting tired of all these processes, but we have to remind them of the rationale for them, and you know, to keep our community safe, and everyone has to do their part. And that communication, I've heard it again and again about the importance of communication. It's saying the same message, but saying it in different ways so people get the message about why those processes are in place, why those policies are in place. So as far as our leadership working on creation of new policies and procedures, as far as looking and re-examining sick leave policy, for example, you know, to make sure that our employees don't go without, as far as if they have to go into isolation. And we are currently still making amendments to our pandemic plan as far as appendices as things change and evolve over the past year, and then a creation of the COVID-19 response plan. So I think that would be the end of my presentation right now. And I think I'm probably have lots of time left for questions.
Holly, well done. Thank you so much. I was about to say nice hair to you, because that's all you can see is your hair. Okay, here. I got a question here from Kathy Bryan. She's talking about the isolation kits. Tell us about the isolation kits. What's in there? What's happening with those?
Okay, so the isolation kits contain some masks, gloves, cleaning supplies, some wipes, toilet paper, just things that at the time that were not available to people in the beginning, and then things that might be hard to still get. And we have a supply of cleaning supplies, and we create little kits for them if they require it. So it's not like now supplies are more available, but the time it was to make sure that the people who needed it got them. So I answered your question, I hope.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Holly. Let's see here. Any more questions from our good friends? Let's see, I'm sure people are thinking about what they can ask right now, Holly. You said you just started manager, eh?
I just started here a month ago today.
Sheesh, how's the transition?
Very, very busy days.
Definitely. You know, we tend to ask at the height of the pandemic, but it seems to me we're always kind of at a high and a height. But how are you making out in terms of like your staff and stuff? Are you all doing well? You all doing okay?
Well, we're doing okay. I think you know, people are getting tired, like I said, COVID fatigue, but I think we're all just trying to manage.
Yeah, I see a question here, and yeah, all we can do is just do our best, right? That's all we're doing. What are you doing to help your frontline workers with COVID fatigue?
Well, as far as that, we are offering it, and again, it's the leadership who have been addressing, looking at our policies as far as sick leave and pandemic leave, and if staff are required or need time to recharge, you know, to approach their manager to discuss that those leave options. And as far as offering any other sort of reprieve, other than that, right now it's just being open and available for our staff if they need to share or vent or download onto me. So yeah.
Excellent. I'm just curious, just what's behind you? I see a medicine wheel and a bunch of things behind you. What is that? I like it.
I'm in a new office to me, so those are already up there. This used to be a children's immunization room, so I have some little things up there. Eat healthy, be active, little messaging for parents and children. So.
Oh, wonderful. I see a question here from Lindsay. Is there a particular service or type of care that stood out above the rest that needed outside support?
Well, I think in the very beginning, it was that ask, when the ask was there for help, for guidance, for guidelines, because everything was evolving so quickly in the beginning of the pandemic, there wasn't anything there. So we had to look within ourselves and our own staff and management to say, okay, me as a community health nurse, I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm the expert here. I'm the expert in my own community. I know what I need to do for my community. This is my community. I know it. So having to take that moment and to just remember and reflect on my own skill and ability, and to share that with my coworkers to say, you are the expert here in this community, in this health center, and you have that knowledge and expertise. What do you think we should do? Instead of waiting for someone to tell us, this is what you should do. So I think that was the biggest challenge for maybe some of us to deal with, is that while we're waiting for someone to tell us what to do, and to take that lead and say, well, I'm not going to wait, and just do it.
It's really interesting, because like we have really unique set of circumstances within our communities. Some communities have road access, some don't. But when it comes down to our own circumstances, a lot of times, and you mentioned this, is that we're looking within for expertise, especially rather than out all the time. It's just so wonderful. And when we look out, we're looking for other Indigenous communities to kind of see how they're managing. Hey, is there any other communities out there that maybe you worked with or consulted with or talked to, or?
Well, as far as that, I mentioned that we were part of a table, a Manitoulin-wide table. And as far as that, we have 7 First Nations on Manitoulin Island. And then we have 2 2 hospitals, and then all the family health teams. And we have AHAC here, Aboriginal Health Access Center. So meeting with all those other organizations and brainstorming ideas too, and sharing. We want to have common messaging on the island as far as our health education piece.
Excellent, right on. Kathy Brian is giving you a shout out, Holly. She says, I love that you prepared ahead of time and work proactively. The model could be used in all communities. She says thank you, Miigwech, for everything.
Thank you. And I did share with whoever I put it out there last year. I said there were things I worked on personally that I shared here in the community, as far as line listing and algorithm and things like that. And I put it out there just on Facebook, and whoever wanted the information, I just shared it freely and said, here, use it, adapt it. I take no offense in if you don't want it, or use it how you want to, just give me a little bit of credit saying this came from Wukong Kong. So
A lot of good things coming out of your community. Holly, thank you so much for everything. Are there any more questions for the incredible Holly? Lindsay's saying great work with an exclamation mark, which I
Thank
believe
you.
reads great work.
Sorry, I'm so monotone.
Pardon?
Oh, I am.
Holly, you're perfect the way you are.
Thank you.
Perfect the way you are. Some people say I'm high strung, calm down. So, you know, it's all pros and cons, right? It just, it all depends who you meet. I'm just lucky I found a wife who's able to put up with me, that's all. So let's see, Rebecca Swick says, awesome. Carmen Jones says, great presentation. This is an example of bringing in your community. Wonderful. Lily says, Chimmy Gwench. There's a lot of people that are thankful for you and your community and wishing all of you the best. Bernadette is saying thank you as well. Holly, you're off the hook.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations on everything. And we wish you and your community all of our best and continued safety. Thank you, Holly. Oh, that is Holly, everybody. Wow, so amazing. Again, our communities have been doing so awesome, man. I'm just so proud, so proud. I did some work up with the Winnebago Area Health Authority doing COVID related videos. They hired me to do 7 videos. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of our regions are getting really creative on how to disseminate information for our people. It's wonderful to see our people really getting creative out there. So congratulations to Wigwam, but also congratulations to each and every one of you, because from my understanding, you're all doing such incredible work out there for your people. Okay, so we have a few minutes here from now into the reflections from our elders and our youth. I'm just going to see who's online, give some shout outs here. We're gonna go back to this, okay, everybody? So if you can get your devices, I do have a few questions relating to some of the takeaways and stuff from the conference. And all of our friends from Chiefs of Ontario will be getting a screenshot and a report for everything that we're doing here from this session. Just looking here, hoping that our main man, Ed, was able to join us. I'm sure he's trying his best to get on. So we have 2 youth and 2 elders that were scheduled to present and give the reflections. That's going to be at 3:30. I see Donna that's online, so we have 1, and Ed is doing his best, and he's having some difficulty. So good luck to Ed. All right, so let's do it. Let's hear some of your reflections on the last few days. All right. Okay. And post your sock videos, sock and mocks as well. We want to see them. Carmen, where's yours? Show me. Okay. All righty. So
don't have any
get
socks.
Carmen. All right, everybody. Get
Barefoot.
out your devices, everybody. Let's do this, shall we? We played a few games, but what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a few questions about the event. Here we go. Let's do this. We've done this a few times. You know what to do. 6788478. Boom. Press those hearts as fast as you can. If you don't have a second device, don't worry about it. Just put everything in the chat, and that's okay. I believe we're going to be saving the chat, and if we're not, perhaps we can save the section of that chat. That would be wonderful. Love to hear your comments. Love to hear some of your takeaways from the event. That's really important. Gonna wait a couple more seconds for people to log on, not much longer. Just keep pressing those buttons as fast as you can, people. I'm the green heart right there. I know COVID's gonna get me down, man. Lots of love coming your way. I was at a school one time in one of our communities in Ontario, and I did a session. I had the whole school in front of me. And then I went went a tour of the school, and one of the kids yelled from her class. She says, "Stan, I love you." And I said, "I love you too." And the principal says, "You know, we're not allowed to say that here." And I went, "Oh," just felt so sad. And then I looked, and the 7 grandfather teachings were on the wall, and I went, "How come you're not allowed to say one of the grandfather teachings? That's so sad." And when I feel sad for you that you're in an environment in one of our schools, you're not allowed to say that. What are you not allowed to say? Courage or kindness? So why can't we say love if we truly understand what it means? It's a really, really beautiful word. Maybe we need to have some education behind that word and what it really, really means and represents. Okay. All right, here we go. There's 40 people on. Here we go. Let's do this, shall we? As I cycle through. Oops, hold on. Made a mistake. I'm going back to here. There we go. You're going to see my innards. You're going to see my innards happening here. Okay, there we go. How many COOF Health Forum conferences have you attended? Lily mentioned yesterday, my daughter, she's a COO baby because she was born when I first started with COO 8 years ago. Oh man, so she's our little COO baby. So that would be me right there, 8 to 10. Oh man, I've been involved for such a long time. So thankful. Does a conference need me? Maybe not, but I love doing this and I'm so thankful every single year. This is how I provide for my family. So I'm so thankful to the team of Chiefs of Ontario. They value my services. I'm so happy. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop share just for a second. It's wonderful. I'm just gonna go back here and just see whether there's any more mistakes. Yikes. Ever deadly me. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. Okay, we got 11 of you that's first time online. Next year, we'll be back in person. Knocking on wood, knocking on all things wood. Okay, here we go. What is your go-to song to get you pumped up? Come on, let's go. Everyone has a you on fire. Well, I got a foot loose, cut loose, kick up the Sunday shoes. Please, Louise. You like that, hey, Donna? All right, Eye the Tiger. Thunderstruck, man, come on. That opening. Okay, I like it. Come and get your love. Yeah, man. Dance Monkey, that's a good one. Yeah. Blackberry. Oh, Blackberry. Lamb, lamb. Single ladies that dance, huh? Next time they have an intertribal, I'm going to do the single ladies dance. Okay. Let's see here. Uptown Funk. Mine, when I'm running and I'm looking for a song to really get me going, like get me is Kickstart My Heart. That one, man, it just gets me going. A little bit of Motley Crue. Okay. Staying Alive. Yeah, that's a good one too, man. There's good ones. Power music. Come on. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. Another song. Another one. Here we go. What's your work motto? Everyone has a theme or a work motto, right? So what's your work motto? What's your work theme? We're in the business to take care of our people, right? That's what we do. So what's your work motto? I want to acknowledge that February is Gishe Bisim, the great moon in our beautiful, beautiful cycle of life. It is the great moon this month, right here. This is my great moon, Gishe Bisim medallion. Oh, I wear it all the time in February. I'll even bring it out in the summer too. What the heck? I like this stuff. Well done. Walk the talk. Get it done. Just keep going. I like this. Give her hell. Share. Share. I'm glad you spelled it that and not CHER. Okay, this is good. RESPCT. Now I'm from Moose Factory. All right, servant of the people. Get it done. To be service to others with deep understanding. We're so beautiful, eh? Our people are so awesome. Okay, here we go. You should see a couple of options there for you if you wanted to click in one or two. But what is your highlight event? Try and be as specific as you can. It would be really, really nice. It'd be really, really nice to hear if there's anything in particular that resonated with you. What resonated with you? Is there something that you heard, some information out there that went, oh man, I like this one. This one's really going to help me help my people. My dog's making a lot of noise. Got a little French bulldog. When he gets mad, oh man, I think the girls went for a walk somewhere in the bush. Okay, here we go. It says everything. We like to hear that. Yeah, it was free. Yeah, for sure. It is accessible, isn't it? Yeah, of course. And we're so happy that you're able to join us. You sharing, connecting on the land. People like the games and technology. Wonderful. The leaderboard, Autumn Watson, the youth panel. Ain't no pandemic's going to get us down, right? Of course. We keep going. That's what it's all about. Yes, there's a pandemic, but our people still have needs. We still have to find a way, and this is us finding a way. Positive outlook, of course, being able to connect online, learning from the land. Jordan's principle, very informative. Stan, well, that's kind of implied. No, just kidding. The workshops, the youth, of course, the Menti app. And if you're looking for a session, little shameless plug, you can find me. Let's see here. Look at all this stuff. Sock day, and you can't have a breakthrough without a breakdown. I like that a lot too. We talked about that over dinner that night with my kids, because my children are suffering too, and they're struggling with friendships and feeling disconnected. So we're using technology as best we can, but there's nothing better than actually seeing and being in people's physical presence. So this is nice, but I look forward to seeing you in person soon. Okay. Listening to youth express their gratitude and love for our mother and her teachings. Youth sharing about learning from the land. Dr. McCocus and Anthony Johnson. Able to do this techie thingy. The IT technology, people are just a fan of the beard, Matt. They're a fan of the beard. What can I say? See a lot of tech stuff there. They love the beard. Okay, presentations, view stand, always, just kidding. Communities present. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're all here together. Okay, yeah, man. Okay, beautiful. Excellent. Well done. Beautiful. We got a few more questions here about how will this event help you help your community, because we're here to for takeaways, right? So what's going to be your takeaway for you to help others in your community? That seems to be a huge one, hey? Been feeling so disconnected for so long. I've been doing a lot of COVID check-ins, lots for the last months. And the main thing is like, what do you miss the most? And people always put other people. They just miss other people. It's nice to chat and do the old Facebook machine, but let me tell you, just being present just really has thrown off a lot of our people. Boosting morale, networking, partnerships, understanding we are not alone, being able to bring this information back to the grassroots and adapt it. Absolutely. Use this information, adapt it. And as the wonderful Holly just mentioned, just take it and use it. And people ask you, hey, where'd you get it from? You can say, Holly and Webquamacong, right? They inspired me to use this information, and we got to give shout outs to where it started from. Contacts, keep forever learning, program development and outreach in the community during these trying times. Networking and partnerships that were built. Lots of networking still. Presentation, advocacy, and hospital system. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Just read it and check it out. A good reminder that we work for the people and we're here to help others. We are in it to help others. And when we help others, it comes at a consequence because, oh man, we carry that stuff with us all the time. And we are just so thankful for your family because your family shares you. So you can help others. So we're thankful for your families. Look at that, eh? Positive messages from presentations to youth and others. Youth are the target to make the changes. Okay, beautiful. Any words of support and encouragement for our essential workers? And you are essential workers, a lot of you are. So give a shout out. Any words of support and encouragement? And we love our essential workers, sacrificing so much. I got a really good friend of mine in Moose Factory, like you, who's an essential worker. And oh man, she was like, she'd come home at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just tired and no days off. Back to work on Saturday, back to work on Sunday. We are just so thankful. If you're on Zoom, I'm going to ask you to unmute in just a second. Matt's probably going, what? Just hold on. And when I ask you to unmute, you're going to read off your entry. You're going to say, you can do it, or we love you, or you're awesome, or miigwech, or something positive. And you're going to say it in your way. You're going to say it in your language if you want, but you're going to give appreciation for each other. Because everybody on this call, you're all essential workers. I'm not. I stay home. I wear my mask. I don't go out. So I'm thankful for you. So on a count of 3, you're all going to unmute. If you're on Zoom and you're going to say something to each other and share the love a little bit. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Never give up.
You're
Keep
amazing.
We all work together.
Let's not quit.
Never give up.
Thank you so much.
Don't give up.
Filled with so much love. It's just so beautiful. You're all so beautiful. Check it out. There is light somewhere, and darkness can't exist when there's light. And there's light. And I'm reminded of the light that we have when we all come together like this. Look at that, eh? Beautiful. Hey, pals, let's keep it going. I like that one. All right, that's all we have for that. Back to it. Very nice. Okay, let me check the chat here before we get going. Thank you, Larissa. It is really interactive, isn't it? Reign over me. Yeah, just got a message from Alice. She says Ed's unable to attend, and he's a little disappointed. And Ed, he just cares so much for us, and he just loves our people so much. He travels all over the place, sharing and listening and teaching and bringing our people together. So I can imagine Ed's really disappointed that he can't come and he can't log on right now. So my heart goes out to him. But Alice, when you do talk to him, tell him that we miss him and tell him that we're thankful that he's present. He's present. We could feel his energy. So we're really, really thankful. Okay, everybody, it is 3:30 and we are going to roll. We have some reflections here. We've had our incredible elder, Donna DeBossigi. She's been with us for 3 days, just hanging out in the background. She started our day with a beautiful prayer, and we're so thankful for you. Donna, we're going to turn it over to you to give some reflections. We have until 4:15 for this. Donna, just wink, wink, wink. We have two young people, Lance and Winter, who's going to be following you, but we're going to start off with you, Donna. We're turning it over. What are your thoughts on the last 3 days?
A lot of reflections from these past 3 days. A lot of good information, a lot of good presentations. I have to, of course, mention Dr. James and Anthony. Their presentation was just so fitting for this virtual conference that we were holding here, because a lot of their, especially their video, reflected on the changes that they've done within themselves, how they've started doing, returned to fasting and returning to the lodges, returning to go and view the petroglyphs, spend time there, and to get back to the land. That's so important. And I think that I guess one good thing about the pandemic, it allowed us to do those things. So I think that their message was very good in terms of incorporating our ceremonies and our traditional ways when we talk about Indigenous health. You never know what you're capable of until you try. One of the things that I heard, in order, again, like Stan was saying, in order to have a breakthrough, you have to have a breakdown, which is exactly what happened to a lot of our people during this time. And, we have to create those opportunities for our youth to get up close to nature, to reconnect and sit with one another in a circle, like in front of a fire and away from their electronics. That's so important, because we didn't have those before, and it takes too much of us, ourselves as people, as persons, when we spend so much time with electronics. It takes away from time we should be spending with our people, our families, and our communities. So I think, creating those opportunities for our youth is very important in the communities. I also want to make a reflection on the research that is taking place at CRU. It was so good because I'm part of the data research committee, to hear all the good work that's being done by Roseanne and Carol and our staff at the CRU. The COVID-19, that was just so important to begin to get that information out to our people, so that they could start to plan, so that they could start to realize that, what was happening where, and where the hot spots were, and to ensure that they kept their own community safe. So that that was very, very important. And I think it has to continue. And because, we're doing it ourselves, for ourselves, we're that's one thing that I've heard in this past year that made so much sense to me. You're responsible for yourself, no one else. So I just wanted to reflect on that. And of course, they have that First Nation aging study that's going on, feeling a sense of balance despite experiencing frailty, and to be able to still enjoy life even as we age, to be a part of the community. And the other one was the enacting First Nation sovereignty in a pandemic. And again, that's, that we should just take so much pride in having been able to do that, in having been able to keep our community safe as much as we could. And, it also built that in our people to, we'd been this what. Yeah, so that's, I like that. I like that the research projects that things First Nations are doing to protect their communities and what were their experiences. And I think, you know, that's another thing that we need to document and to share amongst each other. You know, those, I guess one big one that I see so often is the funerals. You know, we are no longer able to go and get together and mourn our people that we've lost over this time period. And it's you know, when there can only be 10 people, when usually the whole community would come out, you know, that made such impact to our communities and left our families, you know, very on top of their losses and bereavement that they're going through. Then they had to experience the, it was almost in isolation that they were grieving. And of course, the ceremonies, you know, not being able to attend our ceremonies, you know, I know a lot of our people are just waiting for that time to come when they can go into ceremony again. We did have one here last summer, Sunday ceremony, and it was just so wonderful to be back in the circle, to be back with our own people, and nothing happened. You know, we were safe. We were safe in that setting. I want to also talk a little bit about the CAMH presentation that was done, the Objects Connect. What a fitting title to their project, Keeping the Fire Lit, to ensure that you know, that we can provide that First Nation perspective, I guess, when we're talking about the our own youth who are experiencing problems, you know, and it's so good to also to hear that Dr. James McCokis is also their first medical director, because then, you know, they're utilizing one of our main I guess you know, a shining example of for our youth, so that they can, you know, so they can see that this is one of our people. Yeah, that's very good. And I just need to put in a plug there for the language. You know, our language is so descriptive, and you know, we talk about cultural sensitivity training. For this is I'm in reference to the racism that we are experiencing in the hospitals, and then. But we also need to ensure that we have interpreters in these hospitals, because so many times our people, because, you know, a lot of times their first language is their, you know, they have a hard time describing their symptoms. They have a hard time describing what's going on with them. So you know, sometimes they get misdiagnosed, or they get frustrated, and then, you know, the racism kicks in, and all those things happen. And I guess even more so now that we have so much dementia in our communities, you know, the Alzheimer's, the I forget the names of those Lewy bodies, and the different types of dementias that our people are experiencing. And a lot of them go back to, they revert back to their language, their first language. And then, so you know, we're so fortunate here in Wickramaquong at our nursing home, because a lot of our people still speak the language. But when these clients, if they were living in an urban setting, you know, there would be no one to translate what they're saying, or to hear what they're going through as they experience the dementia and the Alzheimer's disease that is so prevalent in today's society. I wanted to, you know, the Land Hope Project is another one that's, you know, that Back to the Land movement to help with our healing processes. And it's so important to have our families, and especially our young people, being given that opportunity to find healing and find themselves in these settings. So that's and I especially want to give a shout out to Holly Pirwanakut from Wikamkong, who did so much work in our pandemic plan here in Wikamkong. And we're a big community. We were able to limit it to only the three cases that we had. And I think that, with the work of all the staff, that are at the Wikamkong Health Center and at the Wikamkong Nursing Home, we've done well. We've done well. So I give a shout out to Holly and to the rest of the communities who have done, it's been very difficult, but there are times, you can just put something up at the border and limit the access to your own community. So practicing that sovereignty is because you're keeping your people safe. I'm just so proud of that. And Chimigwash for listening. Those are my reflections, and I hope Ed can join us next year. Ed Sackney. Yeah, it's too bad he wasn't able to connect with us. Now, miigwech.
Miigwech, Donna, thank you so much. It just makes me so proud when I see our people really taking control of our communities. It's just so great. And thank you. It's so cool to hear an elder say, shout out. I think that's so cool too. It's like, you're so in with the times, Donna. Thank you. It's so wonderful to see you, Donna. I look forward to seeing you in person real soon. So Chimigwech to the beautiful and always on point, Donna Damasaki. Thank you, Donna. That wraps us up for the elders' reflections. If you're just tuning in, as Donna mentioned, Ed was unable to join us today due to connectivity issues. So if you know Ed, and if you're friends with him on the old Facebook machine, or his number or email, please send him a message and let him know that we all miss him, and our thoughts are with him and his family, wishing him well. Double on here. So we're going to move on to the young people. We got two incredible youth here that are going to share some reflections with us. We got Lance Kopagog, and we have Winter Lipscomb. We got two amazing young people, and we'd like to bring them online now and to share a few things with us. Lance and Winter, are you there?
Hi, I believe Lance is joining us by telephone.
Perfect. Welcome, Winter and Lance. I'm going to mute myself and stop my video. Turning you over. I'm letting you run loose. Have a good session. Thank you.
Lance.
All right, thank you for that very kind introduction, and I want to thank the Chiefs of Ontario for providing the young people, Winter and I, the opportunity to speak about our experience as young people throughout this pandemic. It's unfortunate that we can't gather again like we did last year, but I know that that time is coming, and I look forward to gathering with everyone once again. Throughout this pandemic, we've seen a lot of resilience among our young people. This has been a very challenging time. We've been in this pandemic for almost a year now. In a few weeks, it'll be a year since, March the 13th is when everything started to change. And what we saw from that point forward was our young people, all of our students from kindergarten up to post-secondary and beyond, having to adapt to a remote model of learning. And, in our communities, we face incredible challenges when it comes to broadband connectivity. And despite these challenges and despite having, these issues that our students face, they are still persevering and, demonstrating true resilience in the face of this pandemic. So I want to acknowledge our post-secondary students, myself included. It's been a difficult time, but I'm encouraged to see, how our youth are demonstrating strength in that regard. I want to also acknowledge our leadership. We've come a long way in this pandemic from March, when we were trying to understand what the threat was with COVID-19, to where we are today with vaccinations. And I'm very happy to share that tomorrow my community of Beausoleil First Nation will open our first immunization clinic, and we will be vaccinating approximately 250 of our community members tomorrow. My turn for the vaccine will be on Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I would encourage our health workers on the call today and everyone who is joining us throughout the province. I think it's really important that we encourage our young people and indeed all of our community members who are eligible to receive the vaccine to get the vaccine. This is one way that we can start a transition into, whatever normal will look like after this pandemic. But where we are today, it's really encouraging to see so many communities, particularly in the north. We've been watching elders being vaccinated, young people being vaccinated, and I think that this is a really exciting time. It's a hopeful time, and I look forward to seeing further rollout of the vaccine, and our urban community members living in the towns and cities off the reserve. I look forward to seeing their turn to get vaccinated as well. Throughout the pandemic, the OFNYPC has remained engaged with our young people. We've been delivering a series of town halls focused on COVID-19, demonstrating resilience and bringing youth together in a virtual way, to ensure that we are continuing to fulfill our mandate and engage youth from all across the province. So these town halls have been really inspiring, and we've heard some really good remarks from our youth speakers talking about how they're demonstrating resilience in the face of COVID-19 as post-secondary students, the importance of connecting with family, in this time, whatever that might look like, and how youth are, relearning their connection to the land. So this is a really difficult time, but I think that COVID-19 is also, showing and demonstrating and illustrating the true resilience of our communities. And I think that's a really beautiful thing to see. So I look forward, again, to seeing everyone next year, hopefully in person. And I'm excited to see what happens next, what good things our communities will do in this pandemic. Miigwech.
Bonjour, bebonandas na casa, kawinge go na shnabe winzwin. Maingan dam wajashkini. Hello, everybody. My name is Winterdawn Lipscomb, and I am the Grand Council Treaty 3 rep to the Ontario First Nation Young People's Council. And I want to extend a thank you to the organizers at COO for extending the invitation to the OFNYPC and creating space for the youth to share their thoughts on both the health forum and reflections on COVID and resiliency through the pandemic. So a year ago, I was getting ready to go to New York to present on a panel at the United Nations during the 64th Commission on the Status of Women. And I remember during that period of time, there was a lot of hope and excitement going into the event because, it was the United Nations, and it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And several days before I was set to leave, COVID began to be more than just a faraway threat. Like, it was no longer on the other side of the world. It was very real and very much at our borders. And so I was disappointed because I'd put a lot of work into this, and it felt like, years of research during my undergrad finally led me to this moment. But I think that throughout the pandemic, I've learned not to focus on what COVID has taken away, because it has taken a lot from us, but also the opportunities that it has brought us. And, there are sacrifices that we've had to make. For example, living in an 800 square foot apartment, all day, every day with a dog, or having to watch my baby brother grow up in photos on the internet. But if that means someone else gets to see their kokum another time, or immunocompromised friends and family are safe, then that's all worth it. And I think that there's been a lot of positive opportunities and innovation has happened across the board, not just with the youth, but with our elders and community leaders. People have really stepped up and they've shown up for the communities. And then I think about my own community, our chief, he was there, he supported our post-secondary students. I am no longer one, but my sister goes to university still. And he made sure that they had their nutrition allowance, and he made sure that they were taken care of and had the supports that they needed to continue on with their education. He made sure that the elders had meals delivered, and these are the kinds of things that we've seen all across Ontario with our leadership, and people have stepped up and they've adapted. So throughout the health forum, there's been a couple of events that I've participated in that have really stuck out with me. The first was with the implementation of reconciliation in the health framework. And I found that was a really powerful presentation to be a part of and see how reconciliation is being implemented within the healthcare system. And also today with our youth who are talking about returning to the land. And I think that's been such an important theme throughout COVID, and it's given us this chance to get back to our language and to our culture, and in a way that we wouldn't have had before. So before the pandemic, I worked, round the clock, definitely more than a 40-hour work week, emails in the evening, in the night, on the weekends, and there was no time for anything else. As a member on several youth councils, I felt like that was taking a back burner to my job. And when the pandemic hit, it really forced me to first speed up a lot, but then slow down. And in that slowdown period, I realized that work isn't the be all end all, that my job doesn't love me. It's not going to be there when I need it to be. And it allowed me time to get back to the land, to start learning language, connecting with the elders in a way that I don't think I would have before. So as much as COVID has taken a lot from us, it's also given us so much. And a lot of people, I noticed when San was doing his Mentimeter thing, mentioned about how the health forum was accessible this year. And that was huge because people are able to participate in a way that they haven't been able to before. And people are able to engage, and we're able to have a broader reach. And I don't think that's a bad thing. So as much as we want to gather in person and be with each other and connect, I think that there are lessons that we're able to learn from having virtual gatherings and virtual engagement sessions that should be carried forward going in future engagements or future sessions and forums, because people might ask questions that they wouldn't have asked before. They might talk to people that they wouldn't have talked to before, and that's all really important stuff. And I think that COVID has caused a lot of innovation with regard to the vaccine, with regard to technology, and all of those are big steps forward. And so I think that's all I have to say in sharing my reflections. So thank you again for the opportunity, miigwech to everyone for listening to us and for giving youth and elders a space to share their reflections.
Winter and Lance, so absolutely awesome. You young people, here I am starting to sound old, but you young people don't remind me of me when I was your age, because when I was your age, I wasn't talking like that so eloquently and so informed. And so you think about so many other people out there in the communities, you can just feel the passion in your voice, and it resonates here on this platform. So we're so thankful, Winter. We're so thankful, Lance. Keep up the amazing, amazing work. It's so nice to see the Youth Council so active. It's a really, really strong council, I can tell by two of you speaking to us. And let's have another big shout out to our elder as well, Donna, the amazing Donna. Thank you. Let's unmute on a count of three, and let's say miigwech to the youth and miigwech to the elders. Are we ready? Are we set? 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. That's so nice. I see our incredible elder Donna standing by, and Donna's going to end off with a prayer. In just a second, Donna, we're going to wrap up here. We got a few things to to give away and a few closing remarks. One of which is from Carmen R. Jones, the COO Health Director. But before we get Carmen up to say a few words, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the sock day today. I just asked you, just wear socks and take a picture of your socks. That's it. Or your mocks. That's it. Didn't get a lot of uptake, but that's all right. That's all right. So we do have some prizes to give away. And we have 5 prizes that we're giving away. And let's see here, my cousin Alice sent me a message on what we're giving away. We have some gift cards that we're giving away. So when I call your name or your handle on Facebook, because I don't know everybody's name based on your handle, you're going to email Alice at coo.org. Alice, is it .org?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alice. So you're going to email Alice, and then she'll get those to you. Or you're going to email me if you're the winner of the Tabahon, and then we'll get you the Tabahon. So we're going to give away 4 $50 gift cards, and we're going to give away a beautiful, beautiful Tabahon made by me, my beautiful wife, and my 2 incredible kids, 5 and 8-year-old daughters. We make this as a family. We package it up together as a family, and our home is a loving place. So you know that when you play the Tabahon, it feels good because it's coming from a good place. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. All right, so winner of the gift card is Dorothy Rohde. Dorothy, congratulations, awesome. You're gonna email Alice, do that now, okay? Winning themselves a $50 gift card is Cheryl. Your handle on Facebook is Mofo, K-I-N-G, I'm not gonna say it all. Mofo, K-I-N-G, 1975. Love your socks, but no pussyfooting around. So you're going to email Alice. Congratulations, Cheryl is online. She's fired up. Next one, we have Cheryl Restool winning herself a $50 gift certificate, a gift card. Please, let's see here. Send an address to Al. Send an email to Alice, please. And let's see here, Cheryl. She had beautiful moccasins. Okay, so we're gonna draw for the Tabahon. We got 2 people left. We got Julie, and then we have Blanche. Julie and Blanche. All right, the winner gets the one I'm picking gets the Tabahon. The other one gets the gift card, so you're gonna win something. All right, here we go. The winner of the Tabahon is Blanche Buzz. Blanche Buzz right there. Blanche Buzz. Blanche Buzz. You're going to email me at, I'm just going to put my email address down, Tabahon at yahoo.com. Email me there, please, Blanche. And Julie McKay with the hamburger socks wins herself $50. She can go and spend the whole family, take them for hamburgers. So Julie, my friend Julie, you're going to email Alice at coo.org. Beautiful. Okay, so that does it. That does it for sock day. That was good. We'll have another sock day some other time. I think that'll be fun. Carmen R. Jones, the COO Health Director, are you there? You're standing by as always. The camera is on. I love your background. She built the set just for this week. Everybody, let's welcome the COO Health Director, Carmen R. Jones. Carmen.
Woo! As you can see, I'm in the boardroom at Chiefs of Ontario, which has been closed. So I developed it in my home. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming to the 15th annual Chiefs of Ontario conference, health forum. I know that we couldn't be together this year, but I am very happy that we're able to get together and connect and network and to meet each other online. And it's been a real pleasure to having all of you. If it wasn't for you, we would not be having our health forum for this year. It's very unfortunate that we weren't able to get together, but we did it. We were online, and that's very important. I want to thank our elder, Donna DeBossige, who has been with us for the last 3 days. Donna and I go back when we first developed the data governance agreement, the data governance committee, and her and another elder sit on the data governance committee. And I am so happy that she was able to be with us for 3 days and to give her reflections, because I think it's very important that we have her. And I'm very sad that we didn't have an opportunity to have Ed Sakany on the line with us, but I've known Ed for a long time, and I will give a shout out to him. I hope that he's well in his community. I want to thank all the presenters. It was a great presentations that were given. I myself I have one computer in my phone, and I didn't want to miss any of the workshops, so I ended up being on one workshop and on my phone on another workshop, and it was so exciting to hear the presentations. I want to give a special shout out to the youth presentation that was given by Taryn and Quinn, and it reminded me so much when I was younger, when I myself had a youth group within Garden River called the Kuwaitan Youth Group. And we went out and we did a hide tanning and prepared food and brought elders in. So that gave me a very good feeling that the young people are still wanting to do that, which is very important. As well, I want to, thank the people, my staff who were behind the scenes, and this year, they can't stand up and say, hey, here we are. So I just want to give a big shout out to them, because they worked very hard since the day after the last year's health forum. And to have this type of health forum, we couldn't have done it with the staff that we have. So I want to thank Bernadette de Gonzague, who was our lead on our health forum committee, who has been actually working with only one hand for the last 3 weeks because she broke her hand. And so I want to thank her for, pulling a lot of this together for us, and also working with my boss, Alice Longboat, who is my assistant. And without Alice and working together with Bernadette, they did a lot of work. I also want to thank Cindy Alwell, who is our coordinator, who also worked behind the scenes, Tia Petit, Charnel Sandozi, and the other coordinators that helped Sally G from Environment. I want to thank everybody. It's been a very, very tough year for all of us, but I send my prayers out to all of the community members and all the families out there. I myself, in the last few days, I lost 2 of my aunts and one special aunt that I'm going to miss a lot, is my Aunt Diane Jones, who is from the Batchewana First Nation, and she was a health director there for many years in Batchewana, and she will be missed greatly by myself. I'm her niece, and we had many good talks together. So I myself was at the health forum this year, but with heavy heart that I had to lose 2 of my aunts in the last 5 days. I want to thank all my other staff that are part of the health department, and those folks worked very hard, and they took up the sword and took up the staff be at the workshops and being moderators. I want to thank them for their hard work. I also want to thank Stan, my cousin Stan from Moose Factory, that I've known a long time. And I want to give a big shout out to Stan. And I know that his dad and his mom used to be very good friends of mine. And I wish them well as they work in the up north, particularly his father, who is doing Norm, who's doing a lot of work with the pandemic. As I hand it back to Stan and the elders, I want to personally thank all of you for all your good work and for being with us. Next year, I will not be the health director that will be at the Chiefs of Ontario. I'm moving on to do other work within the Chiefs of Ontario. I'm not leaving the Chiefs of Ontario, but there's been some really great acknowledgement of all the work that we've done in research and moving forward. And as you remember of the presentation that we gave at the first day, the second day on research and data management, I will be leading that to move forward so that we can have a center of excellence for all our research and data. So I want to thank you all. I want to hand it over now back to Stan, and I wish you all well in the next coming months, and get your vaccine if it's coming. Miigwech.
Carmen, thank you so much. You had me scared there for a second. I thought you were just leaving us, but you'll still be kicking around and doing something. And Carmen, I wish your family all of our best and all of our love. And we wish you and your family peace. These are difficult times. It's difficult when it's normal. At time like this, it's extra hard. So my heart goes out to you, Carmen. Carmen R. Jones, everybody. Still staying with us, right? Just a different office, maybe the same office, but a different nameplate. Different nameplate. Yeah, something like that. So thank you so much, Carmen. Congratulations to you and your team. It was amazing. You worked really hard at this. It was the first time doing something like this. You researched like nobody's business, and you decided on this really, really nice app. And congratulations, it was a huge success. Before I turn it over to our beautiful, beautiful elder, just want to give a shout out to all of you, and thank you all of you again for doing what you're doing, and for the sacrifice, being away from your family to protect our communities during this time. This has been an extraordinary time, and it's we're getting through this, and we're getting through this together. And as Carmen mentioned, the vaccine's on its way, and as Lance mentioned, his vaccine is his appointment's coming up really, really soon, and he'll be there in line, showing some muscle. So I look forward to that too at some point, except my will be probably a lot skinnier. So that's why I'm wearing a sweater, not a t-shirt. Otherwise, this camera takes away a whole bunch of pounds. I want to also acknowledge our communities up north that are vaccinating. Congratulations, way to go. My dad actually has his second round of vaccinations, and he's doing very, very well. And my mom has gotten one, and she's doing very, very well. So I'm really happy to report that. And at times like this, it kind of brings me back to listening to stories from our elders like Donna and like Ed, who talk about ceremony. And ceremony, oftentimes you have an elder or some practitioner going into a lodge on our behalf and to speak to spirit. And before our elders and our practitioners are going to these lodges, they'd ask us, is there anything you would like for me to ask the spirit on your behalf? And we'd ask them questions, the most dire questions, the most important questions, with hopes that they'd get answers and come back and report answers to us. And we just have hope and we have faith that the spirits were there and they'd come back to us. In an event like this, it's kind of the same, isn't it? Is that we know we're here. We can see people on the screen. We can sense the energy. We can hear the voices, but we can't see. We can't see everybody in person, but we have hope and we have faith, and we ask those questions. And the questions that we're asking is, how could I be better? How could you fill me up with knowledge and fill me up with more hope that I can help my people in a better way than I was able to do so yesterday? Or give me hope that I'm not alone and that I'm able to share stories and get connections and network because I miss people so much. There's hope and there's love here. And as they say back home in our language, they say kasakihitin, which means I love you. At a time like this, we need to come together and share that love. So on behalf of my family to yours, wholeheartedly, may you find pamatsiwan. May you find the good life in this difficult time. And kasakihitin, I love you. Donna DeBosky, everybody closes up. And then once we're done, I'm gonna ask Matt to press play, and we'll have that traveling song. Over to Donna.
Miigwech, evde kwedang digo nishna bekwendao, gigondo demawe, shindiginim nidom nisim benjabawi pang benjaji, kawani nation kadiavan jikovnigoan. Kukwe miigwech chananik sound, kukmistanik mishum sananigi nagibit gobot. Wene sagit vatamong, wene gegine, menoknigiang. Was not one, Quichinishna beonanik. Miigwechigo. Eventually, they Ishimin Gracian, Kinagego, Ishimi young. We not Magiang, you know, get when the Gino and Kitagi chick. Shinda, no, cheese of Ontario and Kijik. We got Chan on the Gino Gash, Chinakiat. Come on, me no. Pete questioning me no. Me which can the Nama Bana stand gay. Yeshikchinad Marget gay. When the Sagin Minobis, some in the Minobis, Minobis Chigatation, the night, so going in questioning, Miss Mipach Gage and I gave me Weshas Nicket, Kinoya, Rabbe, didn't Dutch get. Miigwech, 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 miigwech. Now.
All right, everybody, that concludes the 15th. We'll see you all next year at the 16th. You can unmute and say bye if you want. Unmute, say bye.
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 See you next
Bye.
year. Stay safe.
Bye.